All right, shalom, shalom. And first and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakodash. All right, double honors to the apostles, elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, pushing the work in truth and sincerity. All right, so the name of this lesson is Bear Your Cross. All right, just something simple I put together with last night. And not only put the title down at first, and then I wanted to go to sleep because it was pretty late. All right. And well, the spirit was on me just to put some precepts together and go into, bearing your cross and what it really means to bear your cross and the symbolism of the cross and how it applies to us in our walk. Right. So I'm going to start here in Matthew 16th chapter, the 24th verse. And it says, Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Okay. And so every individual in his truth has his own cross. Okay. And as the Lord says, what Luke 14:26, if any man come to me. Oh, no, not this one. Luke. Well, you know what? You could actually again start up slocking the discipleship tested, right? Because this applies to us as well. Our discipleship is tested as well. All right. Um, and so I'm gonna read this really quick and I'm gonna jump back. Okay, Luke 14:25, it says, And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life, also he cannot be my disciple. So that's one of the things, all right, the qualifications you must have in order to follow Yahweh Shai, all right? And that word really doesn't mean hate, like to hate him. Here, let me get what it truly means. Okay, the Greek word here.
Strong's G 3404, Messiah.
All right, and right here it says by extension to love less. All right, it doesn't mean that you hate your family with a passion or what have you. It just means you put the Most High Yahweh before them. All right, you put your duties and the truth before your family. All right. So in a sense, you would love them less because what? You love the Lord more because you attend unto his word more. All right. And when you go into what that cross means, right? It's symbolic for well, it represents death. All right. But you can apply it spiritually or figuratively, all right? So going back, Slocky, I'm kind of doing a little jump in here because I want to put this in perspective. So Luke 14 that we read 26 verse 27, it says, whosoever doth not bear his cross, okay, and come after me, because that's part of your cross, you have to essentially forsake your family in so many ways, to a certain extent. Okay, you're not fully forsaking them, but you might not be able to spend enough time, that much time with them. You might not be able to go on trips and enjoy your family to a certain degree, and we know in this truth you enjoy your family a lot less. So for an example of that, part of your cross is that, and a lot of men, they'll use their families as an excuse. They'll use other things as an excuse, and this just is not. It's not just uh, you know what predicated on your family, but other things as well. Okay, and we're gonna go into it. And whosoever doth not bear his cross, right, and come after me cannot be my disciple. So that's one of the requirements, all right, for which you intended to build a tower. And what are we essentially? We're uh we're seeking the kingdom, right? All right, and so that requires us to do a certain service, All right. Within that service, we have to prophesy daily. We have to chant this place down because this isn't our rest, right? Sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, right? Whether he have sufficient to finish it. So we have to count the cost, and that's one of our elders apostles. They always talk about counting the cost, and understanding what it takes, what it's going to take to build this venture of ours. Okay, and it's going to take a lot, and ultimately leads to you sacrificing your life for the greater good, for a greater purpose beyond ourselves, for a future. All right. And that future is the kingdom of heaven. Okay. And, you have many that came before us that have done it. It don't just start with us. We entered in other men's labors, and, and they sacrificed their lives. Right. We can even go back all the way to Moses. He sacrificed, I think it's in Hebrews, if I'm not mistaken. He sacrificed his position so that, uh, he can be with his brothers. I forget what precept that is, but Salaki on that. So less happily, after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. Right. So if you come in his truth, man, if you don't finish what you're gonna be mocked at the end of the day, because really, um, you won't have no place among the elite, and it's all about the sacrifice, man. Yahweh Shai did it. We're not above our maker. All right. So let's see here. Matthew 16:24. All right. It said Yahweh Shai unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Right. We went into this, right? Might be going into it again. Let me just do it again anyway if I didn't. Right. So I want to look up the word cross. All right. Greek word stauros.
Strong's G 4716. Stauros. Stauros.
Right. All right, and get straight to it right here. It says figuratively, okay, because it goes into the Roman crucifixion, which was adopted. It was adopted by the Romans, and they perfected it. It was from the Greeks. They got it from the Phoenicians, and it says it says what? It says borrowed by Greeks and Romans from the Phoenicians to it were affixed among the roses, so they perfected it. Right, so that's one aspect of the cross, which Yahushua had to endure that too. Okay, but scriptures talk about him being baptized. He had a baptism that he had to go through. Right, was essentially that was his cross. He had to be fully submersed in, the affliction. All right. So right here, Salakia. It says figuratively exposure to death, i.e., self-denial, right? By implication, the atonement of Hamashiach cross, right? So this is mainly doing with self-denial. So taking up your cross is denying yourself, and the scriptures talk about, mortifying the deeds of your flesh in order to serve the Lord, that, you would put forth a worthy sacrifice, and it be counted worthy, because ultimately we want to do this for that purpose, so that we may be counted worthy, so that we won't have, or so that we won't be blamed or blameless. Okay. And so that we would serve the Lord the right way. And, so that our sacrifice would be accepted. Okay. So moving on. All right. And You know, it's this is unavoidable. There's no other way. You know, scriptures talk about this being a straight gate. So we can't come up any other way. All right. We have to indeed follow that standard, which is what essentially here's self-denial. Okay. So we deny ourselves in the world, we deny the pleasures of the world so that we can, all right, serve the Lord. All right. And really it's a privilege. All right. It's not like we were worthy of it. Now we know what there's a scripture that say here, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. I think I got it already. Right. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, uh, verses 5. It says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." Now we know we're acceptable men, and the Lord, you know, put His chosen through that furnace of affliction, so that we can bring forth righteousness, and will be made clean through the affliction, and bring forth righteousness through our afflictions. All right. So this is a daily thing too, because the scriptures say what? Uh, yeah, Luke 9:23. It says, "And He said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself," right? You know, "and take up his cross daily and follow me," right? So that's what this is about. All right. It's a daily thing, you know, and the elders through the Spirit, uh, you know, shown that example through what they do, through they showing the example by their works, what they do daily. All right. Because we could be doing something else, but we wouldn't be serving the Lord. We could be all about our family, but we wouldn't be serving the Lord. We could be all about our business, but we wouldn't be serving the Lord. You know, it's simple. All right. But also, we is subject to this. All right. And I got um, more precepts, so Salakia. All right. Okay. We were subject to that cross. Okay. For reasons of ultimately being cleansed through affliction. All right. So we catch hell just like Yahweh Shai caught hell. There's a Luke 12. All right. Uh, and 50, it says, "But I have a baptism to be baptized with. And how am I straitened till it be accomplished?" So he was straitened. All right. Well, let's go to the word baptism, baptisma. Well, now this is another, maybe the root word is baptismo. Tizo. Okay, Slack. Baptizo.
Strong's G 907. Baptizo. Baptizo.
Right. And the word here it says to dip repeatedly. Right. So part of the baptism process is to be dipped repeatedly, to immerse, to submerge of vessels sunk. Right. So check this out. Because this goes with what it says, what I read in Sirach 2 and 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So we want to be accepted, right? So we're going to be here. This is Isaiah 48 and 8. Well, I started at 9. Well, I can, you know what? I can start up a few verses. 8. It says, "Yea, thou heardest not. Yea, thou knewest not. Yea, from that time that thine ear was not open, for I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherously, and wast called a transgressor from the womb." Verse 9, it says, "For my name's sake I will defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee. that I cut thee not off. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. Right? So the furnace of affliction. Okay. So furnace, right? You take metals, precious metals, all right, and you dip those, essentially you dip those metals in that furnace, and it melts them, all right. And part of that process is that what those metal you have in dipping those metals, and when those metals melt, they have the what they call the dross, which is the unwanted parts. All right, the impurities of the metals that be in. When that fire is, you know, enough, those impurities come out. So it's the same with our affliction. So we go through hell, and those impurities go away. All right, okay, and so through that process, through the furnace process, through the affliction process, as it says here, the furnace of affliction, we're constantly dipped, right? Because what? The Lord is cleansing us, right? Through this process of the baptism, just like the Lord was baptized. He was dipped repeatedly, all right, to immerse, to submerge a vessel sunk, to cleanse by dipping or submerging, to wash, to make clean with water, all right, to wash oneself, bathe, to overwhelm, right? And so part of the process also, all right, because it says water here, right? Right. We know we got the furnace, and then you got the water, which will you can equate the water to the wisdom of the word. All right. We got to constantly be in the word. All right. It says to overwhelm. So we got to be overwhelmed with not just affliction, also, but by the word, which is, essentially like likened unto water. All right. It has more notes on it, but I think I reached the point that I wanted. Okay. All right. And so, what does this ultimately mean? Right? We had to bear the indignation of the Lord, right? Because, right, he's doing it for his name's sake, right? Verse 10, again, Isaiah 48:10, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? So his name, his people, is not going to be polluted. All right? Because he's going to refine us until we're made perfect. All right. And I will not give my glory unto another. Okay. So that's why we got to go through a repeated process of afflictions, not only afflictions, but, you know, reading, uh, uh, being dipped in his word, or the water, which is his word. All right. So it's a continual process. Okay. But that's part of the cross. So that's part of denying yourself. Okay. And eat hell, when you go through afflictions, you got to deny your feelings, how you feel, because you can't be offended. Right? Lord willing, this makes sense, man. All right. Micah 7:9, it says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord Yahweh because I have sinned against him. Right? And the truth of the matter is, hell, just like Yahweh Shai sinned in his past life when he was Solomon, we have sinned in our past lives. Hell, we were born into sin. He was born perfect when he was Yahweh Shai. All right, when he came as himself. Okay. Right. So that's a dynamic. It says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord Yahweh because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light. How is the Lord doing that? Of course, through these different processes that we have to go through. bearing our cross, right? Denying ourselves. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. All right. So that's what's happening. The Lord is bringing us to his righteousness, but it's happening in such a way. Okay. All right. And this goes back to the point I just made. 2 Corinthians 16 and 53. Let not the sinner say that he hath not sinned. Right. So we can't say we haven't sinned. We were perfect. Hey, even Yahushua couldn't even say it. How much more we? It says, for the Most High shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which said before the Lord in his glory, I have not sinned. So we can't say we have not sinned, because the Lord, what? He'll judge us. Okay. It says, behold, the Lord knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts, which spake but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made. Let the heaven be made, and it was created. In his word were the stars made, and he knoweth the number of them. He searcheth the deep and the treasures thereof. He hath measured the sea and what it containeth. All right. So how much more us and the things that we have done here? I'm gonna jump to 61, verse 61. He made man and put his heart in the midst of his body, or in the midst of the body, and gave him breath, life, and understanding. Yea, the Spirit of the Almighty, which made all things, and searcheth out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. Surely he knoweth your inventions, and what ye think in your hearts, even them that sin, and would hide their sin. Therefore hath the Lord exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. All right, and when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. Yeah. Those kind of going into some. All right. But as you see, all right, none of us can say we haven't sinned. And that was the point of me bringing that up. All right. So what? The Lord has, chosen us in that furnace of affliction, so that we can purge out our wickedness in a sense. All right. Romans 8:20, for the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope. All right. Let's read that. Right. So he subjected us. All right. Salakia, in hope. All right. So check this out. This is the NLT. Right. And it reads, this is Romans 8 and check this out. 20. It says it. Let me see. Lock it. Yeah, 21. All right. The creation looks forward to the day when it will join God's children. Nope. It's 20. Against its will. No, let me see. 19. I don't know if. All right. Romans 8:19. So all creation is waiting eagerly for that future day when the Most High will reveal who his children really are. Against its will, all creation was subjected to God's curse. All right. But with eager hope. Okay. And the Lord put us in that position. So, all right. This is Sirach 23:1. O Lord, Father and Governor of all my life, lead me not to their counsels, and let me not fall by them, who will set scourges over my thoughts, and the discipline of wisdom over mine heart, that they spare me not for mine ignorances, and it pass not by my sins, lest my ignorances increase and my sins abound to my destruction. So part of our affliction is that what we got to deal with the mind, the scourges that set over our minds. which is the Lord's, which is the Lord's wisdom. Okay. Because it's wisdom that trieth us. What by her discipline. Okay. The scriptures go into that. So it's lest mine ignorance is increased and my sins abound to my destruction. Right. So the Lord has set that mechanism up so that we don't go off. All right. And I fall before mine enemy or adversaries and mine enemy. And that's wisdom pretty much doing that job. All right. So here, let me do this really quick. I think it's Sirach 4:11. Sirach chapter 4, verse 11. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be Wisdom of Solomon. Yep. So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 4, verse 11. It says, Wisdom exalteth her children, and layeth hold of them that seek her. He that loveth her loveth life, and they that seek to her early shall be filled with joy. All right. This is the baptism of water right here, man. And he that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory. And wheresoever she entereth, the Lord will bless. They that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her, the Lord doth love, right? So it says, they that serve her, which is wisdom, shall minister or serve to the Holy One, right? So we serve wisdom, all right, meaning that we're seeking after her, reading, studying, all right, shall serve the Holy One, right? Because we will know his word, and we'll be able to pass it along. And them that love her, the Lord doth love. Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nations, and he that attendeth unto her shall dwell securely. Now here's the point coming right here. It says, if a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him. Right. And this is the point I'm capturing here in Ecclesiasticus, the 23rd chapter. All right. And torment him with her discipline until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. Okay. And so this is part of the cross. All right. Then will she return the straight way unto him. All right. And comfort him and shew him her secrets. Now, but if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace. And this is the shame that we have, all right, which bringeth forth glory and grace. Okay. Because we can look at our ways and be ashamed of them and not want to do the shit anymore. Not and be essentially through with that way of living. All right, we can become a new creature and despise the old man. Okay. So back in Sirach 23:2, it says, who will set scourges over my thoughts and the discipline of wisdom over mine heart, that they spare me not for mine and ignorances, and it pass not by my sins. Yeah, that'd be the spirit. Spirit lets us know certain things, pointing out certain things that you've done, and this is like an everyday thing. I know for myself, if it's something I've done, the spirit will bring it back up and he'd be like, hey, that was off. That's plenty of times, man. Whether it was dealing with brothers, how I dealt with brothers, the spirit will bring it back to my attention and let me know, look, this was off. And I'll feel ashamed for it. And then I say within myself, I don't want to do that type of thing no more, So lordliness makes sense. So it says, that they spare me not for mine ignorances, and it pass not by my sins. That's right, lest mine ignorances increase. Right. So the Spirit warns you, right? Lest my ignorances increase and my sins abound to my destruction. Right. That's why we're scourged. Our thoughts are scourged daily. Okay. Okay. And how is this in relation to taking up your cross? Well, if you're taking up your cross, this is the result. You know, because part of taking up your cross is you have to uh, deny yourself. Part of denying yourself is, doing the service of the Lord. You know, so just so we're not losing anyone on here. So it says, "And my sins abound to my destruction, and I fall before mine adversaries, and mine enemy rejoice over me, whose hope is far from thy mercy. O Lord, Father and God of my life, give me not a proud look, but turn away from thy servants always a haughty mind." And the Lord is doing that through the process in which he determined us to go through, which is the furnace of affliction. "Turn away from me vain hopes and concupiscence, and thou shalt hold him up that is desirous always to serve thee." That's right. So the Lord is holding us up through these certain things that we're going through, these tedious things, these certain afflictions that we're going through, right? Having to bear our cross, having to read, study, and going repeatedly going through uh, these things. We're repeatedly being dipped. I think they said repeatedly to be immersed. This baptizo, though, baptism, right? How did I get this here? Yeah, figuratively. This is the word cross. Stauros. Figuratively, exposure to death, i.e., self-denial by implication, the atonement of Hamashiach, the atonement of the chosen. Okay. So we all have to go through an atonement, and part of seeking the wisdom is an atonement. Part of going through our afflictions is an atonement. And now the part that we seeking the wisdom, when we find the wisdom, that wisdom will set scourges over, will test us. All right. And so when it tests us, it is essentially refining us. Okay. Because we got to choose to be disciplined. Okay. If that makes sense. So Salaki. So this is Lamentations 3:22. It says, it is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. So his compassion, part of his compassion is putting us through that fiery furnace. What we can do it some other way, right? But that's an extension of the Lord's mercy. This is the process in which he's determined that we are going to be made white and clean. Right? It says, "They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, the Lord Yahweh." So we always have a chance, to please the Lord. Okay. It says, "The Lord Yahweh is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him." That's right. All right. The Lord, the Lord Yahweh is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. All right. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord Yahweh. Right. And this is what we're subject to. Okay. Bearing our cross. It is good for a man to bear the yoke in his youth. All right. Because that's when you have your most of your strength. Right. Which that's just now, when you have the, when this truth is fresh, you know, in you. Okay. It said, he sitteth alone and keepeth silence because he hath borne it upon him. That's right. The Lord hath borne it upon us. Okay. It says he put his mouth in the dust. If so, be there may be hope. Right. We don't utter anything, because we could offend the Lord. We could be, they're tempting the Lord, if I'm saying that correctly. Okay. So we keep our mouths shut. And so, again, it's a good thing for a man, what it said, that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. All right. Because he's borne it upon us, right? So verse 30, he giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach. All right. For the Lord will not cast off forever. And that's the reality for us. We're full of reproach. Okay. Because of what? The wisdom, the understanding. And what comes with that understanding is a constant critiquing of the spirit, of your spirit. All right. Let's see here. Luke 9:23. Yeah, I think I read this already. But again, to drive the point home, all right, is that we all have to bear that cross. All right. And no man can serve the Lord unless we do it daily. All right. In which we have the apostles for an example. Okay. And so we all should, pay close attention to, the opportunity, which it truly is an opportunity. It's not like we deserved it. Okay, so Lord willing, it gives you a different perspective on, different perspective on, or perception on this truth, and bearing your cross. Okay. So Lord, what is edifying, until next time, I will give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemel Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, a great millstone. Shalom to you. I can push and work in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.